Welcome to the Sally O'Neill podcast, where I get to be your clinical nutritionist for a quick snippet of time and take you through evidence-based topics and tools that will help you reach your goals faster and more sustainably than ever before. I take the nutritional science and convert it from lab to life to save you the headache. This work is part of my educational role I hold with all of my clients on my nutrition coaching platform, Status 80/20. If you resonate with the content and need to work one-on-one with an expert nutritionist, I'll add my links in the show notes. My guest today is Lottie Dalziel. Lottie is an award-winning sustainability advocate, educator, and founder of Banish. Her work is deeply relevant to anyone interested in health and wellness, from the food we eat to the way we shop. Lottie helps us see how everyday choices impact not just the planet, but our bodies as well. In 2024, her Brad recycling program diverted over 1 million pieces of plastic from landfill, and her new book, 365 Plus Ways to Save the Planet and Your Money at the Same Time, is full of practical, affordable swaps that are better for both your health and the environment. Now, if you've ever wondered how to align your nutrition goals with more conscious living, this episode is for you. The tools we talk about today include how to live more sustainably, how to reduce food waste, and of course, how to improve your overall health whilst loving the planet. We discuss her morning routine, a day on her plate, a supplementation regime, and also some stress management. Before we dive in, I do have a quick favor to ask. If this podcast brings you any value, I would love your feedback with a 5-star rating if you haven't left one yet. Just a sentence or two about what you enjoyed about it, because it really helps me create more of what you love and bring even more value to you and this community with better content. Lottie Dalziel, welcome to the studio. I'm so happy to have you here today.
I'm so pumped about this episode.
Yay. How many podcasts have you done, by the way? Because I was literally having a quick search in the car and I'm like, I need to hear like the intro because you've obviously got so many accolades. But I kind of wanted to hear how other people had introduced you. And I'm like looking for you on podcasts. I'm like, where is this girl? But I definitely spelled your last name wrong, which is why I couldn't find you.
It's hard. Having 5 silent letters, it doesn't really roll off the tongue.
It's cool though. It's cool. So my darling, today, first question, everybody walks in the room. I'm going to ask you what your most recent takeaway was, what you had when you had it.
Yes. So now I don't normally get that much takeaway, but it's pretty busy at the moment. So I actually had some sushi the other day. So a couple
healthy
of
girl
rolls.
takeout.
Yes. So there's a place across the road from the Sustainability Hub where you can take your own container. So you take your own container, you actually get 10% off. And do you need to know exactly what was in my sushi rolls?
I'd love to.
Okay, great. So I had 1 teriyaki tofu, 1 tempura pumpkin and avocado, and then like a little, oh gosh, I don't know what it's called. Like when they're like the little stacks. Nigiri?
Yeah.
Yeah, little nigiri with more vegetables, yes.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions around that, being your nutritionist for an hour. So soy fish are a no-go, is that right?
Little soy sauce fishies,
Yeah.
we don't like them.
Okay, so we're going to avoid those. And what do we do instead? Do we take our own? Do you take your own?
So at the office, we actually have just a bottle of soy sauce in the pantry that we all use. But also when I am there, they've just got a bottle of soy sauce. I just pour it on top if I'm really that hungry that I can't wait till I get back to the office.
So smart, so smart. And you're veggie as well, right? So
Yes.
How long have you been veggie for?
Pretty much as soon as I started Banish, so about 7 years.
Ooh, what prompted it?
It was 1/3 the planet, 1/3 my health, and then also 1/3 animals.
Oh, that's really nice, because I feel like some people are very one way of like, it's just because I don't like meat, or it's because I'm saving the planet but I really miss meat. But you've got like a plethora of reasons, which is nice. It must keep you on the straight and narrow with it.
Well, I actually don't really miss it. I think it's been that long that I don't really miss it. I don't like crave it. I don't like any of the substitutes that like bleed like
Neither.
a piece of meat do. Like doesn't really make me excited. So yeah, I think it's been a bit of an easier switch than I first realized. I think I went pescatarian for a couple of months, and then I realized when I was doing the research about the plastics in fish, and that pretty much quickly turned me off it. And then I think the first year when I went home for Christmas, Mum was like, but you used to love Christmas ham. So I made you a Christmas ham and I was actually quite excited and I ate it and I think my taste buds had just changed and I really didn't like it.
Oh, sorry, Mom.
I know.
Did you have to pretend?
No, I was pretty honest. I'm pretty straight. I was like, no, sorry, Mum.
I'm not eating that. Thanks, Mum.
No, thanks.
To go back to the fish, because I eat a lot and I know I encourage a lot of my clients to as well. Tell us a little bit about the plastics in fish that I'm sure we can't mostly avoid. And is there any sustainable alternative we can pick if we are going to eat fish?
Studies have found that there is plastic in not only farmed fish, but also in wild caught fish as well. So when it comes to the canning process, sometimes there can be plastics in that process. So you actually need to check to see whether the tin can you're buying your fish in is BPA free, because you can have BPAs in tinned fish, but also what happens when you have kind of fisheries, they're not always sustainable. So in Australia, we're lucky because we have more sustainable fisheries than most countries. So by buying fish from a sustainable source, you're less likely to consume those plastics. But unfortunately, microplastics are just now part of our diet. So it's reducing our consumption when we can.
So frustrating, isn't it? Because I know I went to your book launch of your amazing book very recently, and we were talking about how even we're literally breathing in microplastics at this point. Like they're in the environment, in the air. So the best that we can hope for at this point is minimizing our exposure and intake. Exactly. Is that right? We can't really avoid them at all costs.
No, they're literally in the air we breathe. So whether you're walking down the street, whether you're at home, you can't really do anything. And it's that hard thing because not too many scientific studies have come out yet which show us the actual impact that this is having on our bodies. We've just seen that they've been found in brains, in testes, in fetuses, in absolutely everything, these little tiny microplastics. But we don't know what the impact is. We just know it's
crazy, isn't it? I always think about like a cat with a fur ball and we're just going to cough up a big piece of Lego at some point.
I kind of wish we would because
that sounds easier, right?
Yeah,
we just get it out. That's really crazy that it's in brain. So give us an insight into Lottie's day. So can you walk us through, first of all, your morning routine? Because I know you're still in Bondi, is that right? Yeah. So I know living in Bondi, there's all these crazy health routines that people go, like everyone's waking up doing ice baths, going for 10K runs, like before they've even had touched some coffee. I'm like, that is not the life I lead. But tell me a little bit about what your morning looks like.
Yeah, I wish that I had a set morning routine, but I think having a business, it's never every day is always different. But I think probably my most common morning routine would be waking up at about 6 a.m. and then going for a walk, literally walk from one end of the promenade and back. And then once I do that, then I will probably try and have coffee or something to eat. I'm trying really hard at the moment to eat first before I have a coffee.
Good girl.
And then head into the office.
That's awesome. So we'll go on to day on a plate. So I'm going to ask you to recall, as if you were a client, day on a plate, including coffee, and then we'll touch on anomalies, so stuff like alcohol if you drink it and takeout and all that jazz. So, but I want to hear about coffee, liquid intake, all the good stuff, and then obviously like your sushi and things. So can you wake up, you do your walk, you try and have some brekkie. What does brekkie look like?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm really into the overnight wheat bix. So I crush, because I love food prep, so I'll crush up some wheat bix with some LSA, some chia seeds, some water, some cinnamon, a little bit of honey, and I make that into like a mush, and then that is what I have as my base layer. Sometimes I'll add a dash of almond milk in with that as well. So that's like, it almost creates this like puddingy, cakey kind of thing. Yeah. And then I have some plain Greek yogurt on the top of that, and then some kind of fruit, whether it's frozen blueberries or if I've got fresh fruit like an apple or something like that. Yeah. So that's normally my breakfast because then I can do it all in advance.
That's awesome. So you get in complex carbs with your wheat bix. You're looking at me like, oh my God, I'm in trouble.
Have I done the right thing?
No, it's really good. You've done a great job. So the LSA edition, I love. Like obviously wheat bix are processed, but it's good carb, like in the sense that you're still getting good fiber. You're adding almond milk in there. Are you making your own almond milk? I was going to ask about the Tetra Paks.
I wish I was making my own, but I'm not.
Can I ask because I know we had a chat a while ago on text message about oat milk and you were like, what am I doing wrong? I'm having oat milk. And I just posted something about.
We haven't got to my coffee yet, which is still oat milk.
Oh, that's okay. We'll come on to it. But the almond milk that you have at home, is there a particular brand that you like?
To be honest, I'll get whatever. It's as long as it's unsweetened.
Okay, cool. And we're not worried about, because forgive me, but the lining of the packs of almond milk, are we worried about microplastics or anything there, or not really?
A Tetra Pak is made with paper, aluminium, and plastics. There's actually 5 different layers in a Tetra Pak. So because of that, that's why it's really hard to recycle, because whether you have like a plastic bottle of milk, one material, easy to recycle. The reason why I like long life is because it's long life. I don't drink enough to go through, I don't know, 1 bottle a week. But if I'm having a dash, then it's going to last longer.
Yeah. And then making your own, you end up making it in litres because you need to fill up the blender and like, and then it goes sour and then you're wasting stuff that way. So it's kind of like, what's the best of all evil situations here? Okay, so good complex carbs. You've got vitamins coming in from the fruits. Well done. The Greek yogurt, is it an organic one or are you just going like straight up high protein?
It's just straight plain Greek yogurt.
Great.
I just get the big one from Aldi. It's like 2 litres. It's huge. It has like a little handle because it's so
I've seen
heavy.
it. It's like a paint tin. It looks great. Okay, love that. Are you mixing any protein powder or anything into that or not?
I tried. I just didn't like the taste.
That's all right. That's okay. I'm going to find you a nice tasting one because I think... I don't know how much Greek yogurt you're having, but you're probably not getting near your 35 grams of protein in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask if you ever have a savoury.
If I'm at home, like this morning, because we have this, I had 2 eggs on a piece of toast with some spinach and chili.
Yum.
Delicious.
Yeah.
But I don't have time to do that every morning. And I know you love a savoury breakfast.
I know. You see, you've done your research. We do love a savoury breakfast here, girls. Just because and I've spoken this 1,000 times, but we like savoury just because it helps maintain blood sugar pretty stable in the morning. And then it stops us from overeating at night, which is where most ladies fall down, I think. Because we get home, we're tired, we've had a big day at work, and then it's like, oh, there's some Oreos, or oh, there's some yummies for the kids, or whatever, and we end up overeating.
Yeah.
So the savoury breakfast is a really nice start today. The only other thing I would say there, lovely, is how much protein do you think you're getting in 2 eggs and some toast?
No. I feel like in general there's a bit of a common theme. And that was what I was
started off strong.
Thinking about it today. I was like, I need help with my protein intake.
Okay. So what you can do and what I will ask clients to do sometimes is to swap the bread for a high protein bread so that you don't actually have to eat more eggs. Because sometimes...
Are crumpets high protein?
I don't think they are. I'm sorry, but we could have a look. So there's a really good, not sponsored by these guys, but there's a really good company called Herman Brott that do really healthy breads, and they focus on high protein. They do burger buns and they do sliced bread, and I don't know if they're doing crumpets yet. That could be a request to put in.
Because I try and go to like a local bakery to save on packaging.
Oh, that's
so then
smart.
I take my own bread bag with me so then I don't get anything, and then I'm supporting local economies.
In which case, you're going to have some more eggs.
Okay, but 3 is not something we should be worried about?
No. So what happens, because originally people were worried about high cholesterol.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens, generally speaking, is if you've got a healthy liver, your liver sees how much cholesterol is coming into the body and downregulates its own production to account for the dietary cholesterol coming in. And then when that's processed through your system, it re-regulates and produces the appropriate amount of cholesterol. So it doesn't add on, your liver downregulates, which is great. If you don't have a healthy liver, so say you've got non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or something else going on with your liver and it can't downregulate, then we see an accumulation of cholesterol. But I'm assuming your liver's all good.
I hope so.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure you're a pretty healthy girlie.
And I must say as well, I used to add in cottage cheese as well.
Smart.
To my scrambled eggs. It's just really hard to get at the moment.
There is a shortage thanks to TikTok.
There's like an egg shortage and a cottage cheese shortage.
Yeah, I'm hoarding them at the moment. I'm going to be honest.
You've got them all.
I can sell some to you at an expensive price. Yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't know if it's just Bondi or what's going on, but I'm like, guys, I'm a vegetarian. I really need this.
I know. Do you know, I order, you're going to probably tell me off for this, but I order online to save time. And I know, don't be mad. But is that not better? Because it's not one car going to the supermarket. It's one van going around.
It just depends how around it's going. Is it doing like one stop in like North Sydney and then one stop for you in Bondi?
Okay. I don't have control over that, so that's up to the gods. That's not my problem. But what I will say is I order stuff online and often they'll substitute. So I'm getting eggs that are not organic, which is, not my choice. And then they'll send me ricotta instead of cottage cheese. And I'm like, I can't scramble this.
No, that's not
That's
a
not what I
substitute.
needed. That's not what I
Definitely
wanted. So yeah, I'm getting like the rubbish versions at the moment because it is obviously in scarce supply. Very frustrating. So let's say we've done brekkie. Is there a mid-morning snack or is it
Sorry,
coffee?
I'm having coffee.
Okay.
I'm having coffee like last mouthful is done of breakfast. I'm onto the coffee.
Straight onto it. It's like a little dessert perhaps.
Yeah, it's just like what gets me to the next stage.
Yeah, that's fair. It kicks off the day.
Yeah.
What kind of coffee are you having?
Oat milk latte.
Oat latte. 8 ounce, 12 ounce?
I make it at home.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
so I've got a
great.
little machine at home. So got my beans, got my...
I actually do know the machine. I rented your apartment for a little while.
did?
Many, it was literally 2.5 years
Yeah.
ago when I was deciding whether I wanted to live in Bondi, and you very, like, so kindly went and stayed with your partner so I could rent your place.
Anytime. Happy to convert more
What a
people to the
legend.
bubble.
I know, and then I ended up staying, so we're all good. So I have used this said coffee
Yeah.
machine. So making it at home, what oat milk do you use?
Oatly.
Yum. This is the one that we spoke about though, isn't
I
it?
know it is. And it's this hard thing because I did the whole thing where I tried to make my own and it just didn't froth right.
Totally.
I swapped to some nut milks and I found that it just like wasn't the same.
Yeah. The reason it's not the same, I'm just going to throw it out there, is because oats are predominantly a carbohydrate, you know that, and carbohydrates are all by nature turned into glucose in the body, so sugary, right? It's a source of sugar. Not that sugar is bad. We need sugar to fuel our brains. However, it makes, obviously, coming from a carbohydrate source means it's sweeter in nature. And the way that they actually process the oats basically means that we've got really good access to lots of fast digesting sugar. So it can give us that quick bump and then we're like, woohoo, feeling
Yeah.
good. And then we get the crash after. If you're having food at the same time, not so worried about that. I think that's fine. The only other thing to note that people really harp on about at the moment is the seed oils thing. There's so much debate in the media about, does it do anything bad? Is it adding to inflammation? Is it actually not that bad? And so on and so forth. I think for the amount that you drink, it's probably not worth having an argument over if you get so much enjoyment out of it and your health is otherwise great. It's just like, you know, we're trying to go follow the 80-20 rule. I don't want anyone to get so obsessed with the food and, you know, water and liquid intake that it becomes an issue for them. We're trying to have a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with it. I think you're
Okay.
doing a fine job.
Oof, I'll stay.
And the other option that I give to people is if you want to do half hot water, half milk, you can obviously always do that. So if you're trying to cut your intake down, save money, the flavor is significantly, like, it doesn't change a lot. Like, I find it tastes exactly the same. So when I order an almond milk latte, I always say half hot water, half milk.
Yeah. Would you say that maca is better than almond milk?
Made from a nut, so less sweet. And then in terms of how much added sugar, you'd have to compare because different brands have different stuff.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. Like the Alternative Milk Co., which is the blue Tetra Packs, they're actually pretty decent, like in terms of the nutritional profile. More of the, like, I don't know, the Milk Lab version.
What about like
not so
Australian certified
great.
organic, the green ones?
That one's good. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't mind their maca milk and I normally go for maca over almonds because they're a better nut for the planet.
There we go. See, we've workshopped this together. So everyone's now having unsweetened macadamia milk that they're not making at
We're
home.
going to try.
Half hot water, half milk. Imagine going to the barista and saying that. We're going to get some eye rolls, but that's fine. So mid-morning snack after coffee, or is it straight into lunch?
No, so I've gone to the office or the hub and I've had another coffee.
Yeah, your adrenals are loving this.
Let's go.
You may as well just crush up a no-dos at this point.
Yeah,
and just,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not a decaf one. It's full
Yeah,
calf.
no, we're going.
Okay, full strength. What, is it another latte?
Yep.
Okay. Do you know what I had this week out of interest? I'm just going to share this anecdote. I actually swapped from a piccolo because I'm trying to cut back on the amount of milk that I have for many reasons. But I was having a latte, then I swapped to a piccolo, and then I swapped to a, what do I want to say?
Macchiato.
Macchiato
Dollop.
with just the foamy part on top, and I didn't hate it. I feel like
been-
I've weaned myself off the milkshake, and I'm
like
now
that.
on to like the more hardcore stuff.
That's good for you.
Yeah. Thanks.
I have been sometimes swapping to a matcha.
Okay.
My second coffee to a matcha.
Yeah.
It would still have oat milk in it though.
It still has probably the same amount of milk.
Yeah.
But yeah, better probably for your adrenals and more antioxidants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Trying.
that. try. The only thing is, the other thing with matcha is because it does taste like grass and it's quite bitter, the amount of honey some people add to it will sweeten it.
Yes.
You have to ask for it unsweetened.
Well, I've been having this great brand called Little Wildling Co.
Oh, we love Little Wildling Co.
And they have a minty matcha,
It's
so you don't
peppermint
actually
in
need
it.
to add as much honey, I find.
Just because it's a bit sweeter.
Yeah.
So it's peppermint powder mixed with, I think, Japanese matcha, isn't it? Yeah. It's one of my faves. I've got it at home in a big glass canister.
Me too. Oof, delicious.
We love. So we've done brekkie, coffee, matcha. Next up
would be lunch.
Okay, great. We got there.
Sometimes I might like have a little hankering in the morning for something and I'll grab a piece of fruit.
Great. Perfect. We've had nothing processed thus far, which
No.
is excellent, obviously, other than the milk. So what's normal other than sushi? Is there anything else you would reach for lunch?
So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm a big food prepper. So at the start of the week, I'm somebody who's quite happy to have like 5 of the same lunches and be okay.
You're my dream client.
Yeah, I don't mind. So this week, for example, I did a big thing of roasted veggies. So I did some roasted pumpkin and white potatoes.
Yum.
With some garlic and I think it was smoked paprika. And then I've got some rocket. This is where you're going to fall down. And then I do like a teaspoon or tablespoon of hummus.
That's not a fall down.
But that's it.
Oh, okay. That's the fall down. I was like, hummus is great. You're like, no,
Yeah,
that's the end of the sentence.
We're
though.
finished.
I understand.
We
So
made it.
There's no tofu or
No, the hummus is my protein in that
interesting.
scenario.
How much hummus do you pop quiz? How much hummus would you have to eat to get 30 grams of protein?
Probably like 2 kilo hummus.
You can get your paint tin from the yogurt and maybe make yourself some lunch in that.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. So yes, this week I
Okay.
would say has been a fall down from the lunchtime protein.
Sure.
Other times it could be like a curry that I'd make or something like that. But yeah, again, we're struggling with the P word.
Maybe some boiled eggs, some cottage cheese, ricotta could have been dolloped on top. You can blend ricotta into your hummus to make it more high protein or cottage cheese. And it
Okay.
also obviously spreads it out so you get more for the week.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you here, but
Thank you.
okay. So, but I love the roast veggies. Well done, you. And also cooled white potatoes have got amazing resistant starch. So great for probiotics, all that jazz. What are you taking your lunch to work in? Because I just bought, you're probably going to tell me off about it. I love how we both feel guilty at this table. We're both like, oh, I'm going to get told off. We're sweating.
Yeah.
I just bought some new containers because I was like in my meal prep phase, obviously, always in a meal prep phase. But I got some new ones that I find the glass ones aren't sealing properly. So I've got the glass ones with I thought they were a glass lid, but I must be wrong. A plastic lid, plastic seal with the like pop top thing that you press down. And I was taking those with me because I work from the library. Tuna salad, the tuna juice was all over the bottom of my handbag when I got there. And I was like, this is actually not leak proof. So I had a change of heart and I was like, no, I'm going to go and get some really good ones that are actually going to help me. However, they were like eco-recycled. They're quite deep cubes, coloured, like green. And I'm looking at you like you're going to know this. You're like, I don't know every Tupperware. From Woolworths they were. And they say that they're made from recycled plastic. I don't know if that's good or not. But it does say that they're microwavable, dishwasher safe, etc., etc. So that gave me a little bit of hope. And they're BPA free.
Yeah. So we love that they're BPA free.
Okay.
I would never heat anything up in plastic.
I do salads, so I'm not heating stuff. I don't even have a heater at the library.
I still, just in general, always would prefer to store in something like glass. I know your pain, though, with the sealing or sealability of something. I'm not a tuna.
Why do
reader, but
people
yeah,
say that
gross.
it's got a good seal in it? And then I'm getting tuna all over stuff.
I would
on my
even-
laptop cord. And I'm like, that's literally going to smell for the rest of my life now.
Gross. Can you crack the tuna tin when you're at the library?
I could. And then there's the whole, I've got to do something with the tuna juice when I get there.
Yeah.
So I actually went to the bathroom the other day to empty my tuna tin down the toilet.
Gross.
And there was a girl next to me and she could smell tuna juice. And I was just like, this sounds like I'm having a wee and it smells of tuna.
Gross.
And then I got a bit of a complex about it. I was like, I'm not going to do this again. I feel like there's a better option. So I started cracking it open at home. I think I need to come up with a different option altogether.
Why can't you just go outside and eat it outside in the sunshine?
I could do that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And okay, and just pour it on the grass.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Probably a binge
Double Bay
would love it.
is going to start smelling of salmon and tuna juice, but that's okay.
That's all right. I think so, yeah. For me, I haven't been able to find a good glass container with a glass lid. There are some with bamboo lids and things like that, but I haven't found a good one yet.
So what are you using? What's your preferential transportation?
It's a glass container and then a plastic lid.
Okay.
And then if I am heating everything up at work, then I just heat it either in the glass or I put it into a crockery to heat it, to reheat it.
See, I don't reheat anything. I just can't be bothered. I have everything cold. Even if it's cooked food, I have it cold.
See, a cold curry doesn't really make me
I would do that. I don't know.
Thanks.
I just feel like the reheating of it, just because I've had clients who have histamine intolerances and like reheating food causes like hives and rashes and all sorts of stuff. I don't have that issue, but I'm also just like, I don't know about the reheating of stuff and the vitamin content and like we're just nuking it a second time.
See, I do a lot of swimming and I get really cold.
Fair.
And like still
You
at
want warm
lunchtime,
food.
I'm pretty cold.
Yeah.
So for me, I need that.
No
warmth.
hate for that. That's all fine. So we've had a yummy lunch that you've brought with no protein.
Yeah.
Any dessert or like yummies afterwards?
Not at this point, but pretty quickly
Okay.
after that. Like, give me 60 minutes.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, we're
What's
ready. Let's go. So I don't think I'm somebody, like you were saying before, who was like late night hankerings. That's not really me. But yeah, an afternoon snack, like, doesn't want to see me coming.
Yum.
Yeah.
What's the go-to of choice?
Whatever is around, really. I'm really in love with grapes at the moment. The grapes are just so good. Like,
And we now have new packaging for grapes.
Exactly. We've got paper packaging, little paper handbags at Coles, which is
those.
great.
Yeah.
Love a crisp and crunchy grape.
Have you frozen them?
No, I haven't.
I've heard great things. I actually did do some a while ago where I got jelly crystals, like sour jelly crystals, and rolled the grapes in them and then froze them.
Tasty.
Oh my goodness. So good. Worth trying for summer, but we're heading into winter, so maybe save it.
Okay, save it for next time. But yeah, so I'd probably try and do some kind of fruit if I was being healthy.
Cool.
For snacks at the hub, we have Smarties because they're in paper. But they do come in small little portion sizes, which I do like.
Good.
And we also sometimes have the little popcorns.
Yum, the little cobs.
Popcorns
We like those.
have. I used to be really good at taking 2 Brazil nuts.
Yeah.
But I have fallen off the bandwagon, so I need to get back
You can take a bag of Brazil nuts.
I thought it was only 2 at a time.
Yeah, but take a bag and leave it there and then eat 2 when you need to.
Yes.
Wow. You're like, I'm sweating.
I know.
I only had 2. No, it is. You can actually get away with 1 if it's big enough.
Okay.
So for everyone listening, who doesn't know about the selenium hack, it's instead of taking a selenium supplement, you can have a Brazil nut and it covers your needs for the day. And we actually all really struggle to get it as a micronutrient. So well done you for paying attention to that. They are great. So you're actually very healthy thus far, minus all the protein that I need you to consume.
I think that's the main issue is I just don't think I consume enough food and I've just restarted at the gym and I'm finding it really hard because I'm just hungry all the time.
You would be because your muscles are trying to regenerate themselves with amino acids that don't exist. Yeah, that's tricky. So you don't like protein powders? Is that a no-go?
I've tried some brands. Like sometimes in the afternoon, if I'm being like really good, I would have some just like water and protein powder.
Great.
And I'd be happy with that. I just don't know why I don't reach for it like I would reach to like a bag of grapes.
I feel like it's a learnt thing. I think because I always say you want to make it the hero of your meal and then worry about everything else afterwards. So if you center your meal around like, what's always the source of protein in this meal? And then I'll have the roast veggies as an accompaniment, right? So make it the hero. It becomes second nature to go, okay, what source of protein can I get as a snack? So it might be a protein bar that's made with like nuts, bovine collagen, whatever, that you can either make at home.
See, I won't do collagen.
You won't do.
Sorry.
That's okay. But you can get like a different type of protein and you could definitely make them at home. And have you seen the soy protein crispies?
Yes.
Or the whey protein.
Good?
Oh my God, the soy ones are delish.
Like the snacky ones?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
So, and you can buy them in like a loose bag And then you can add stuff to them. So you could mix them into, or you can put them on top of your yogurt. You can mix them into just like melted chocolate and make your own little protein bars.
Different things.
Oh, there's like little soy protein bubbles.
I have seen them. They look like rice bubbles.
Yes.
I was thinking about the ones that like a little like S-bends or like C shapes that you have and they're like really like salty and delicious.
No,
They're
not
like
those.
chips. I was like, sign me up.
Smacking those out with your hands. You're like, yeah, I can have those. No, the little soy protein crispies from the health aisle.
Okay, yeah.
So they're actually really, really high in protein. And then you can make your own protein bars with them without protein powder is what I was getting at. So if you wanted to melt some like sugar-free chocolate or whatever, I don't know, some dark lint, for example, and then put a load of crispies in and then make little bars, you could have those for an afternoon snack. Or you can put them on top of your Greek yogurt, or you could have like a little yogurt pack. Are those yogurt packs all right to have? The little portable ones with the screw lid?
Ones?
Yeah,
No.
they're not good.
Well, it's really hard to recycle those tubes.
Okay.
So that's why, again, I've got another big container of yogurt at the hub. So if I'm having like an afternoon hankering, I could also do that and some honey.
Yeah, nice. So you could do that. That's easy.
So I've got like everything there.
You've got options.
I just don't think I eat enough.
Well, you're going to have to start prioritizing it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to put your big girl pants on. I'm sorry. Because
that's
we're
okay.
going to feel good. If you start going to the gym again, you've got to support all your efforts.
Yes.
There's no athlete out there, whether they're vegan, veggie, carnivore, that isn't prioritizing a good fuel for their sport.
Yes.
You've got to. All right. So afternoon snacks covered. Dinner?
Yes. So
You and your partner together?
yeah.
Yeah.
So normally we'll eat together or separately. Because he works late quite often, if he's working late, then that for me is like girl dinner time. It is eggs.
Snackies. Yeah.
Just eggs.
It's just
Love
eggs in a pan.
eggs.
Good protein.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that'll be an omelette or it'll be a bit of a scramble or something like that with other veggies, whatever I've got. Controversially, I like carrots in my eggs.
Yum.
Yeah, delicious. So yeah, whatever I've got in the fridge in some kind of egg.
Can I ask you a carrot hack again? Because you told us at the book launch and I was like, this is epic. And it was the sweetest thing about having a hug. Can you remember it? Okay, you tell us.
So we've got hugs and swims. It's a section that I mentioned in the book actually. And in my fridge at home, I have this little container filled with water and that's my swims section of the fridge. And in there I have floating around loose is all my celery, my ginger and my carrots because your fridge is dehydrating all of your vegetables. That's why everything goes limp and soggy. And then the hug section is I wet a damp tea towel and then that's where I have all of my leafy greens and my herbs and then they last longer because they don't dehydrate. So just wrap them up.
So cute.
Yeah.
I love that
Little
so
hugs.
much. I'm going to give you another fridge organization hack. If you don't have your whole thing organized in an eco format, is having a shelf of protein, a shelf of carbohydrates, and then a shelf of fats. Because it makes it easy when you're going to make a meal to then just without thinking build a balanced diet.
I think mine right now is like a shelf of condiments.
It's just condiments. You have a great condiments section. I will add that.
I love condiments.
Same. The inside of my fridge is something to behold. It's quite hectic. Yeah. What's your favorite condiment?
I love, there's like this crunchy chili oil that I just add to absolutely everything. That would be my go-to. But also I just think like if I've got sun-dried tomatoes, jalapenos or like pickles. in the fridge, I can make anything.
Harris Farm do a Japanese pickled daikon in like some sort of vinegar and it's ridiculously expensive. It's like $18 for a jar of pickles. It's obscene. But when you want a little bit of luxury, it's so good.
Or even just like a sauerkraut, any of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I love a beetroot sauerkraut.
Oh, okay.
Just to mix it up. Yeah. Okay, that's also great for your workouts, by the way, beetroot, because it's got it's going to help you produce more nitric oxide. That oxygen gets carried around the muscles, helps you perform better. So if you add a bit of beetroot, you can do like a little shot of beetroot juice in the morning. You're like, I don't want to.
Nope. But I can do the beetroot. I don't mind beetroot juice with other things.
Yeah, or just whole beetroots, or like beetroot sauerkraut also works.
Nailed it.
Okay, cool. So dinner, generally speaking, do we have a source of protein?
So I'll do the eggs if I'm having like a single girl dinner. Otherwise, we'll just make something at home. So it just depends. Like last night, for example, we made a pea pesto pasta. So made the pea pesto from scratch. So that was just peas, pine nuts, spinach, olive oil, lemon, garlic. Blend it up, a bit of parmesan, and then some pasta.
Okay, so parmesan's pretty high protein. I like that. pasta. You can swap for a high protein pasta. So you can don't have to
Yes.
add any protein. That's
Right.
very easy. Veta do a really good one. And then the peas of all the vegetables are the highest of protein. So
Love that.
well done you.
Great.
Accidental protein. You're like, I know.
I'm amazing.
I'm so good. So I have that's a great day on your plate. Is there any dessert?
No.
Okay. So it's really whole foods based. Like
Yeah.
you are really great at making sure you're getting a nutrient dense diet.
I try. And then I have peppermint tea before bed.
Beautiful. You're not a chocolate girly.
No, I'm more of a lolly.
Oh,
Love lollies.
I'm on the other team. That's so interesting.
No, love lollies.
Do you have the sugar-free fondue things?
Love them.
Yeah.
But I can't do it.
Oh, does it hurt the stomach?
No, I just can't stop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Thank God they're portion controlled though.
I know they are, which is really good.
Yeah.
But I try and avoid, to be honest. I
smart.
just feel like as much as yes, they are a better option, I just try and avoid packaged foods where I can.
Very smart. I think if I had that drive from an eco perspective or like looking after the planet of like I want to have less packaging and I need to be more conscious of it for sure and I will be after this conversation. But I think I just enjoy like I will go for stuff that's like a better option. So I'm like if I'm really craving lollies, of course I'm going to have like the fondue ones that are low sugar. But I'm not thinking about packaging at that point. I'm just thinking about my cravings, you know?
That's all right.
It's tricky.
Like I'm still definitely do consume like packaged foods sometimes. I just try and avoid them where I can. Like I would say over lollies, my favorite thing in the world is dried fruit.
Oh, yum. Which is
Oh.
nature's lolly.
It's so
I
good.
had a big handful of dates before we came here,
Oh
and I
my
was like,
gosh. But
heaven.
I can't stop. That's my issue. So that's
Yeah.
why I just like abstain because otherwise
I love that abstinence. Yeah,
that's the
I have
whole
to
thing.
abstain from dates.
Literally.
So we've covered long life cartons. We know that we're going to use them minimally.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's okay. And then yogurts, we're not getting the takeout pouches.
Yeah.
Tell us about the aluminium foil ball.
Yes. So aluminium is infinitely recyclable, the same with glass, which we love. But when you have things that are smaller than a credit card, you can't curbside recycle them. So if you're pulling off, I don't know, from your yogurt or your hummus, that kind of like, I don't know, tin foil covering, that's too small to go in your curbside recycling bin. So what I do is I collect them and roll them into a big ball. And then once they're the size of a tennis ball, then you can recycle them.
I didn't know they weren't recyclable at a certain size.
That's
That's
right.
so
Not many people
random.
do. It's a big
I just
one.
throw stuff in there. Okay, well, I'm getting told off.
That's okay. It's mainly because what happens is it's kind of like going through airport security when all of your rubbish goes to your recycling facility and anything too small is going to fall through the cracks.
Got it.
So we want to make things nice and
Did
big.
they tell us that? I feel like we don't get told that.
You're told now. But no,
Okay.
I don't think people do get told.
This is your warning.
Yeah, this is your one and only warning.
Okay, so weekends, do they look any different to you? And do you have any supplements in your regime?
Supplements, I sometimes take magnesium, but I would say that it's not very regular.
Okay.
I did get tested last year. I'm about to have my annual blood test, which I was saying I should have done it before this. But last year with my annual blood test, it showed that I was lower in iron, not low iron, just lower.
Okay.
And low in B12.
So B12, really common for people who don't eat meat. We already know this. So you can add nutritional yeast, which is a really good way of getting it into your diet, and also a little bit of protein in there for you.
Okay,
Do a
great.
little bit of nutritional yeast. Your iron, we spoke about this just before coming on air. You're cooking on I was going to say you're not cooking on non-stick. You're cooking on cast
Exactly.
iron, which is actually a great way of getting more iron into your diet.
Which I didn't know.
Yeah, it literally permeates the food and it increases your iron intake without having to take iron supplements.
Love that.
So great. It's also going to last a lifetime if you take care of it. I definitely don't know how to season an iron pan. I've screwed it up that many times and ended up with rusty pans and then being like, I don't know what to do with this.
It's hard. I feel like it's good for those times where you've got like a long weekend, you're in your like nesting era, you're like, I need to really look after me. That's when I would be seasoning them. I think being vegetarian, I do find it easier because if you're going from like fish to meats and things like that, it is a lot harder with those cast iron pans and not using a dishwashing liquid and things like that to clean them. But I would say that it is so worth it.
Because I've got a friend who's a chef, Hayden Quinn. he always cooks on cast iron. He's great. He's out in the outdoors doing stuff anyway, but he just wipes his down.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to actually scrub them.
You're not meant to soak them either. You're not meant to do any of that. Like literally they are there to be
just a bit of kitchen paper, wipe, go again.
Done. Easy.
Okay, maybe I'll swap.
Yeah, I think you should. And they are heavy. Like my mum came and stayed the other day. She's like, I can't get your pan out of the cupboard. I was like, sorry.
I need assistance
Here
to
you
cook.
go. Because they are heavy, but they are so good.
But they're a lifetime investment as well. So
Exactly.
realistically, over the long term, price per use, as I always talk about, is actually more beneficial having a cast iron pan than it is anything else.
Exactly. I actually picked up a couple of mine online on Marketplace as well.
Oh, great.
So keep an eye out and see, because like
It's probably me selling my rusty ones.
yeah, don't take those ones. But you do see them come up every now and again because people are moving. They're high commodities. So we need to keep our hands on them.
So magnesium you'll take every now and again. Nothing else though on the supplements?
No. So I did take an iron supplement last year when it starts with an M, not Ferrograd C.
Maltofer.
Yes, because I have had IBS in the past. So they were like, this one's a good one for you. Did not work. Like
Really?
was completely clogged up so severely.
That's so frustrating.
Which was really annoying. And I also had a lot of issues with B12 a couple of years ago. So originally when I was told that I had low B12, I started taking a B12 supplement and my whole skin broke out. Like,
Have you had a shot? Have you tried that
then
administration?
This time last year was when I took the shot and the same thing happened. Like
Interesting.
my skin was bad for about 6 months.
Wow.
And then I feel like I actually took some photos to show you later
I will look,
of
yes.
my skin before, because I feel like this past week, maybe just knowing that I was coming on here, my whole jawline again broke out with pimples.
Interesting.
And I don't know like what my body's trying to tell me.
It's normally gut health. We know that. So zinc, best things you can do for your skin, just generally across the board, is taking a good quality zinc because it helps actually seal your stomach as well, which is amazing. It's really good for your stomach health. And then you can do probiotics, but I'm kind of against it because you don't really know which probiotic strains you need. If you've got a good dose of, let's say, lactobacilli, and then you go and buy a generic probiotic and it's got loads of different strains of lactobacilli, you're basically not helping yourself. You're just throwing more of the same stuff at your body, and it's not going to kind of grab onto it or do anything with it. So really what you want to do is a gut health test. So there's something called a CDSA-4, which stands for a Complete Digestive Stool Analysis Level 4. Bit of a mouthful. And basically what you do is you have to poo in a cup at home, which is a bit gross. You send it off. They analyse the entire contents, literally from enzymes in your mouth, in your saliva, right through to exit, everything that happens and everything in between. So it looks at like all the enzymes that break down fats, carbs, proteins. It looks at if there's any fibers in your stool. So what are you not breaking down? And it actually maps out your microbiome. So it'll show what's high, what's low in pre and probiotics and all that jazz. So it's the gold standard of gut testing. But, and I only suggest that if you're far down the track and you've tried a million different things and your gut health hasn't improved, because ordinarily I would say start off with zinc. You can try glutamine, which I always say think of glue. It glues the cell walls together because they get leaky. You know when people say leaky? Just cells that split with stress. And then there's gaps that then allow toxins through into the bloodstream. So we want to seal that back up, and you can do so with glutamine, the glue. So that's a really simple, like single ingredient monotherapy that we were talking about. You can just go and grab that off the shelf at the supermarket, super cheap. And then the other thing I would do is fish oil, depending on how dry your skin is. But you can't do that. So we could do an algae oil.
Okay,
Possible.
interesting. Yeah.
And I also think pretty sustainable, but I could be wrong.
Okay, I'll have to have a look into it.
Yeah, there's some really good algae oils that give the same amount of omegas that you're after, or like the right dosage ratios that can support skin integrity. So remembering that your skin is made up of like 3 layers. One of the layers is like a fatty bilayer, like one of the layers. And so you want to support that with enough healthy fats in your diet. Omegas are going to be a little bit tricky for you because getting them from plant foods is not as effective. It's like when you get iron and people go, there's iron in spinach, but it's not heme iron. Your body doesn't do as well with it from a plant source. So if you're trying to get your omegas from walnuts, for example, it's not as good as getting it from salmon.
Yeah.
Tricky. But algae is a really, really good source. So if you can look into that, I've got recommendations behind the scenes of which ones to go for, but I'll chat to you about that afterwards. And zinc is just a great one as well. So
So definitely just to zinc, and then what were the other
Definitely
two?
to zinc. So if anyone has
Glutamine.
acne,
Yeah.
I'd get them straight onto a high dose zinc. And
Okay.
generally speaking, 3 to 4 weeks, you'll see a significant improvement.
And what's a high dose?
A therapeutic dose is about 50 milligrams.
Okay.
So normally when you get it off the shelf, you'll see like compounded stuff where it's got like a small dose of zinc in, say, a powder, and it'll have like a 5 milligram dose.
Yeah.
So it might be like a sleep powder or something. You'll see it in there. Just be careful, because if you're taking, I know you're not, but if people are taking multiple powders throughout the day, you might already have 15 grams coming in from like your electrolytes and something else, you know, and then it builds up, and then you're taking a 50 milligram dose, and then you're kind of ODing on zinc. So you just want to be careful what else has zinc in it. But generally speaking, 50 milligrams, start there, see how you feel, reassess in 3 to 4 weeks. Take photos. It's really important because we're very emotional about this stuff. And we're like, I can't see a difference. And there's actually a significant improvement. So you've got your photos.
A powder over a tab.
I take tablets actually myself. I don't mind. I think whatever keeps you consistent. Some people don't like powders. In terms of bioavailability, zinc, it actually doesn't matter so much because it gets broken down in stomach acid, which is where we want it to get broken down. That's great. It's just less work for your stomach. But that's like saying, do you prefer a smoothie with protein powder in over chicken? It's like, it all does the same thing once it's been broken down.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much for coming on today.
No, thanks for having me.
You've given us some really great tips in terms of sustainability. I'm going to be really careful about packaging actually, because I feel like I don't buy enough in bulk. So that's going to be something that I focus on.
It's also one of those things like if you eat a more whole food diet, it's better for you, better for the planet.
Absolutely. You're on my page on the Whole Foods. I'm 80-20, right? So 20% of the time I'll have something a little bit processed. But I think I buy things in single serves, and I encourage clients to, because I'm like, it's single serve and then you won't overeat, right? Like the little Cobb's packets of popcorn, which are great. But it's tricky to do that and then also be aware of like, you know, making sure that you're getting the right portion, but you're not damaging the planet with lots of plastics and things. But so it's something to consider.
If you are one of those people who are going to be food prepping, then it could be just getting your like single serving of the yogurt, or like me having the 1 kilo tub at the office.
That's a great
I just
idea.
Get a little bit of it. Or like you get a big packet of the popcorn, or pop your own beforehand, and then you can divide it up.
I'll definitely do that, because I've been getting the little sachets just to squeeze into my mouth, because I'm always eating in the car, which is a little bit gross. And I really encourage people not to do stuff and eat at the same time. But when I'm in a rush, it's like a squeezy packet in my mouth. But I think that's like 5-6 packets a week that I don't need to be trying to recycle, right? And I know I can't recycle them anyway, so no good. But if I get something that somebody needs to make a version of that's like a meal prep version that I can reuse, like a Tupperware, but it's like a squeezy tube.
Yeah, because there are the like little individual like pots of yogurt. You can recycle those.
I can definitely do that. I just can't squeeze it into my mouth while I'm driving.
You could keep a spoon in your car.
Come on, Sally. Get it together. I know, imagine me trying to eat with a spoon at the wheel though. It's too much. But I'll make time to eat my yogurt in private, I think, instead of doing it in the car. But I think that's honestly, if that's the only change I make, I'm making a decent chunk. I'm taking a big dint out of my yogurt consumption and plastics and stuff. So that's a smart move. Anything else you want to mention to give us tips at home, or like what's your favorite tip?
I think the biggest thing is organization. I think that ultimately helps you stay on the right track nutritionally, but also from a planetary perspective, because it's when you're caught out, it's when you're caught at a pinch that you do consume something that's single-use plastic that's costing you a lot more. When you are prepping, getting planned, like planning for everything, I think is so handy. Like in my handbag, I have a straw, a little hanky, a little tote bag, my coffee cup, and my water bottle. So even if I'm out and about with my coffee cup, I can be getting other things. I don't have to be just getting coffee in there too. Yeah, that's smart. I need to start doing that idea as well. I actually have a really great takeaway coffee cup that doesn't leak. Love that.
Yippee. I know. So where can we find you on social media? Because you're a TikToker as well, and I am not that far ahead. I know. You tell us.
So you can find me on TikTok at Lottie, Dalziel. On Insta at Lottie DL, which is literally just spelled DL, or you can find Banish, which is the education platform that I run on Insta and TikTok, which is just at banish.au.
I don't know how you manage all of those platforms, but you do an incredible job and it is so informative. So thank you for putting that out there for everyone on behalf of the people. And I will put all your links in the show notes for anyone who wants to find you. If people have got questions about their own recycling, can they hit you up?
Exactly. Slide into the DMs at banish.au on Instagram. And also you can grab my brand new book.
Yes, please. I have my own personal signed copy, which I absolutely love. And I've picked up some incredible tips. It's one of those ones that you can have at the side of the bed, flip open, and you learn 5 things just by glancing at it, because it's like the way you've designed it and the way that it's laid out is so quick, and it's like really quick snip takeaways.
It's meant to be. It's like bite-sized little snippets here and there. It looks like yours has got some good readings.
I love some great use, my girl. Like, this is not sat on the bedside table for nothing. We've been using. Yeah, it is really, truly, really valuable. So thank you so much for that. I know it was a labour of love for a long time for you, and you've put your heart and soul into it, and you can really tell. So
thank you.
I hope it goes incredibly well. It's already been out on the shelves for a couple of months, maybe now.
Just over 2 months.
Congratulations. I'm sure there's going to be another few at least in the pipeline. And we will find you over on social media, no doubt.
Love it.
Thank you.